Hi, everyone. It's Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome to Soul Sessions. Today, we're going to drill down and we're going to do a little bit of numerology. We're going to focus on something called the Soul Urge number in numerology. It's also called your heart's desire number. I'm going to teach you how to calculate it, tell you what it means, and give you the tools and tricks to really find empowerment and a usefulness through your soul urge number, and also how it will correlate with your attitude number and your life path. And we'll walk through some of the attributes of the numbers. But as always, when you're drilling down and learning about these numbers, you want to understand the vibrational frequency of the single digit, whatever your soul urge number is, your life path, or your attitude. So I've recorded a couple of podcasts around that. And I would encourage you to go back and listen to the Numerology 101 podcast, because I do drill down into the numbers, but I also have great blogs and other tools so you can learn about these numbers and understand your energies and how to utilize these frequencies and codes for your own personal development. And plus, you're going to see all of the connections. It's so amazing how this works. Okay, the soul's urge number. This number is very much like your moon sign in astrology. And if you've heard me talk about this before, the sun, wherever the sun is in your astrology, that's your vitality, your life force. Your rising sign or your ascendant is like your personality, how you come off at first glance, how you dawn on people. And then the moon is your soul's essence, your heart's desire, essentially, the essence of who you innately are, what makes you tick in an unconscious state and deep down in the essence of who you are. So the soul urge number, or heart's desire number, as it's often called, is like where your moon is in astrology. It's part of that code of who you innately are and what makes you tick. Those innate urges or desires that are coming up from the unconscious and coming from this infinite quantum place. Now, think about this. The life path number in numerology, which is the sum total of your birthday reduced to a single digit, is like your life lesson or your sun sign in astrology. And it's really the vibrational frequency that you are attuning to. So I hope you've calculated that. You figured out what your life path number is. Your attitude number is the month you were born plus the day you were born reduced to a single digit. And again, it's like your rising sign in astrology. It's your attitude, your personality, and it's how we come off to people at first glance. So the soul urge, the way that you calculate it, and it's a little trickier, but it's not hard. Y'all can all do this, is your name, your full name at your birth. So on your birth certificate. And if you've changed your name, I'll talk about stuff like that in a little bit. Like if you changed your name legally or you've gotten married, I'll refer back to that. But your soul urge number is derived from your full name at your time of birth on your birth certificate. And then you grab the numerological components of the vowels, all of the vowels in your name. So A, E, I, O, U, and Y. 95% of the time we use the Y because the Y usually has a vowel-like sound. Emily, Sandy, Sydney. So you also add in Y, A, E, I, O, U, and Y. And in the show notes, we have the Pythagorean alphabetical numerology components. So A is a 1, E is a 5, I is a 9, O is a 6, U is a 3, and Y is a 7. So check out the show notes, write those down, then write your full name down, circle all of your vowels in your name, including Y, and then write the number next to it, add it up, and then reduce it down to a single digit. So let's say you come up with the number 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9. Also, if you happen to add it up and you end up with the number 11, 22, or 33, Your soul urge number is a master number, and that has meaning too. So it will reduce down to the base frequency. So if it's 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. If it's 22, 2 plus 2 is 4. 33, 3 plus 3 is 6. You get the energies of the base frequency, the 2, 4, or 6, but you also have the more personified energy of the double number code. And we'll talk through all of that in a few moments. So get your pen out, get your paper out, figure out your soul urge number, and let's talk about the significance of each of the numbers. All right, if you calculate it and your soul's urge number is a 1, which is what mine happens to be, it's a 1. And I'm smiling about this because I get it. I see it. I know it. I know that this is kind of this depth within me. And even though, and y'all have heard me say this, I'm a 9 attitude and a 9 life path, my soul's urge is a 1. The 1 is about individuality. It's about independence. It's very quick on its feet. It's resourceful. It also has a tremendous amount of willpower, drive, ambition. It also can be a little bit restless. It may not always finish what it starts because it's a pioneer energy, an initiator energy. And the biggest downfall or blind spot or challenge with the energy of the 1 is really forgetting to ask for help or utilizing its resources. Even though it's resourceful, it may just say, well, I'm going to do it by myself. I've got this. I've got to figure it out. I'll just get it done, rather than saying, hey, can you help me finish this project? Or, hey, are you available for this today? So if you're a 1, remembering you want to express your individuality, you want to be seen and recognized for your unique gifts and talents, but remembering that you need help. Ask people for help. But also, last but not least, about the 1 is when you have a gut instinct or a drive to do something or an intuition hit, taking action on it immediately. It's not about being reactive, but more like when you feel creative or when you want to take notes on something or get something off your plate. If you have the energy to do it and the time, it's like, boom, get it done, because time is a wasting and you want to capitalize when you have that oomph of power. If you are a 1, just remember to ask for help. And that's the biggest tool with the 1. Okay, if your soul urge number is a 2, well, we know the 2 is about balance and harmony. So deep down within your soul, you have this drive for collaboration, and you're also sensitive and highly intuitive. The 2 is so intuitive. And listen, if you've got an attitude or a life path number that is like a 1 or an 8, you will jump in, you'll get things done, you will be out in the superficial world, in the practical world, interacting, but you may not be slowing down enough to listen to your insight and your intuition. So with the 2, there's always this need to find balance in the extroversion and your output, and then your input, your receptivity. 2s naturally have a diplomacy to them. They also really thrive in supporting roles, meaning they like to be sometimes behind the scenes, supporting and uplifting others, and not so much on the front lines. So, again, if you have a dominant number in your attitude or your life path, like a 1, or an 8, or even a 7, it's remembering that you can jump in, you can take the lead, but how do you also shapeshift a little bit into being behind the scenes and being supportive, but also feeling supported. All right, let's talk about the 3. I love this soul urge number. I wish it were mine. It's not, so I have to use the 3 in other ways. But the 3 is just freaking fun. It's a ball of light and energy and joy de vivre. The 3 is truly creative and has like kind of a magnetic, fun jovial light and persona. When you have people who have heavy threes in their numerology, they're performers. They know how to, they talk with their hands, they put on a show, they're very expressive and they're creative. They're also connectors. You know, they like being out in the world, they like connecting. But where can this get tricky? They freaking get scattered. They scatter their energy out and about and they're less consistent. So it's so important for people who have a soul urge number of 3 to find consistency. And what may be cool in your numerology is you might have an attitude or a life path that is like the number 4, which is about consistency and order and structure and solid foundations. The 3 is not about order, structure, and solid foundations. So it's finding the balance, but knowing that if your soul's urge number is a 3, you want to express your creativity, your artistry, your light, your magnetism, your personality out in the world. And it's finding community, audiences that you jive with, that see you and enjoy the expressiveness of your nature. Just finding time to ground and be consistent and even follow through, kind of like the one. The threes and the ones are not always the follow throughers, quote unquote, in the numbers. All right. If you've got a 4 for a soul urge number, man, order, structure, building solid foundations. What I love about the soul urge 4 is they're very practical, but they're going to accomplish come hell or high water. It's like if they have a goal or an aim, they're going to practically figure out the step-by-step approach and they don't really give up. They can be relentless. And this is where their little challenge, and it's not a little challenge, it's a big one, just like all of our challenges can be until we recognize them. The challenge is not being too rigid, too pragmatic, too dogmatic, too structured. So it gets stagnant and stale and really linear and boring. And it's not that the 4 is boring, but when it's so hyper focused and the 4 has a beautiful focus and determination to it because it wants to succeed, it loves the satisfaction of a job well done. But also when the 4 accomplishes something, be able to like, oh my gosh, I did this and celebrate, add in joy, add in spontaneity and flexibility. That's why I think the 3 and the 4 on that are a great combo of kind of this extroversion and celebration with the 3, and the 4 energy is like, let's get it done in a quality oriented fashion. Okay. The 5, the soul urge number 5. 5s are freedom seekers. They're dynamic. And out of all the numbers, the 5 is equipped to handle change. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but the 5 seeks change. It does not like stagnation. So it's adventurous. It is flexible. It's always looking for something new or something to look forward to and be excited about. The 5 just thrives on new horizons and adventures. Now, the flip side of the 5 can be because it really is searching for change. And I know that sounds so funny because change can be hard. And 5s don't always know this within themselves. And until they know it and get it, I mean, there's a kind of I think the 5 is one of the most right place, right time energies. And when their energy is harnessed well and with follow through, healthy, good communication and accountability, the sky is not the limit for them. It's like the cosmos is the limit for the 5. But what happens is when the 5 gets bored, when the 5 gets stagnant, when the 5 doesn't have something to look forward to or a new horizon to explore, it gets antsy, it gets stuck, it gets bored, and then unconsciously drama happens, or it's a ghoster. The 5 is a ghoster, meaning it's like radio silence. They just quit. They just storm out of a job. They just end a relationship without follow through or communication. So when they get bored, naturally dysfunction and disruption occur because it's like in their soul, they're seeking change. And does that not mean that they're not good partners or people that have longevity? No, but it's them being able to communicate their needs. And I find that with the 5, when they learn to say, hey, I'm having a tough day, or I feel really stuck right now, or if I'm a little bit shut down, it's not you. I just need a little time, or I need a couple of days, or I need to go off by myself, or I need to schedule a trip. Like figuring out how they can create adventure and spontaneity in their day and also in their perspective, that creates their ability to make deep, profound commitments and then just freaking rise high and rise high magnetically. They've got a magnetic component to them, much like the energy of the 3. All right, the 6 soul urge number. The 6 is, and y'all know, you've heard me say this, if you draw a 6 on your piece of paper, it might look like a pregnant woman, and it is the divine feminine ultimately. And so even if you're a guy or whatever you identify with out there, we all have masculine and feminine qualities. So don't go, oh, my energy is the divine feminine. Like the divine feminine is truly about wisdom, innate wisdom, the counselor, the wise one, the nurturer, the supporter. I mean, 6s are great clinicians, healers, therapists. They're extremely diligent and loyal. They show up for people and they know how to provide love, comfort, and support. And they do it from their heart because they want to, where they can be challenged. 6s are also highly intuitive. So add that into the mix. Apart from being very caring, like deeply, innately caring, they're very intuitive and they feel things deeply. They take things personally, but where they get in, the most boiling water is forgetting to take care of themselves. So when they learn to really say, what do I need? What do I need in order to feel recalibrated, vital, healthy, well, safe, fill in the blank, when they take their own temperature first and honor it before they show up and be these beautifully service oriented beings on this planet, they feel a beautiful reciprocity and their vitality is high. So if you are a 6, really taking your temperature first before you jump in and take care of everyone else. Because with the 6, because it is so service driven, it can find its value or this vitality, which is actually a paradox, through its service, but then it's depleting itself. So it must give itself the care, the attention, and the importance that it gives to its relationships with other people and other environments. And they can be this way in work. Sixes on the professional front are exceptional business people, but then they forget to communicate their own needs and desires and really take time for themselves. They can just pour so much into their job or their company that they forget to really really take time for who they are outside of work. So that's why I bring that in with the 6. All right, the 7s. Ugh, those knowledge seekers. The 7, as you may know, if you've heard me talk about the 7 in numerology, the 7 is always seeking knowledge. It's the life learner. It loves not only to dive deep into something, it doesn't want to just learn it, it wants to know it. It's like, oh, yes, that makes sense. Oh, I get it. Oh, I understand this now. Oh, this is magical. With the 7, there's this energetically spiritual vibration that is very it's radiant with the 7 because they have these aha moments when they cosmically put puzzle pieces together. They love to dive into the mystery of things. And one of the things about the 7 is they have this kind of wacky mad scientist genius component to them because they're very analytical. The way that they do data analysis, it's like they do it in their mind. They put these cosmic dots together and boom, it clicks. Yes, it makes sense. Eureka, here is the formulary. What can be challenging about the 7 is they can be super emotionally detached or very reserved, closed off, a little impersonal, and they are definitely into their own feelings and passions and curiosities, but then taking time to really be perceptive of and be easy with other people and also vulnerable. Where the 7s are challenged the most is in their healthy vulnerability of being able to say, "Oh, tell me more about that. I care. I wanna know." Or, "Gosh, I'm struggling today. Do you have a few minutes to talk to me?" Because they won't always reach out for help, not unlike that number 1, but it's not because they forgot to ask for help. It's because 'cause they're like, nobody's gonna get me," or, "I'll just do it myself. I've got it. I'll figure out the mysteries by myself." So, getting out of their own way is their biggest opportunity, and it's funny because 'cause they're kinda stubborn. They're like, "I'm good. I'm good over here in my environment, in the mysteries of my mind, in my own company," and I smile because 'cause I'm like, "Ma," with the 7. I love 7 energy. I feel like I go so deep when I'm in a 7 personal year or we're in a 7 month in numerology. And I'm like, yes, things are coming together, but have to remember, or we get to remember, wait a minute, who am I sharing this with? Who gets me and who is safe or fun for me to share this with? All right, the 8s. Man, I tell you what, if you have an 8 soul urge number, like you are out to win it in this lifetime. You are hungry for success. And listen, you're hungry for power, money, the material world. And listen, this is all part of being human. So if you've got the 8 as your soul urge number, there is like this unprecedented drive to succeed. You have a tremendous amount of resolve, meaning, okay, it's like sheer determination. Like, I might fail, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out. And if I fail, I'm gonna learn from it and I'm gonna get back up again and I'm gonna go at it. I think about, people often in business say, gosh, I've learned more from my failures than I have my successes. That's the energy of the 8. And the 8's a magical number that way because it shows us both sides of the coin. And if you draw the 8 on its side, it's the infinity symbol. So it's here for infinite potential. I don't know what attaining that looks like, but I know what it feels like when my heart just is like, yes, this is it. I'm going after it. Okay, let me get down to business because the 8 is about business. The 8 is about time is money. Like they're very conscientious of just showing up and getting her done, essentially. What can be challenging with the 8 is it's moody. It's freaking moody as all get out because it can rise from high to low very fast and it can be combustible or reactive and actually aggravated and angry at times. And it can either implode and hold all that stuff in, which creates burnout and is not sustainable, or it can explode onto others. So, really tapping into its emotional intelligence and honoring the mood swings and saying, gosh, I'm exhausted today. I can't show up. I need some help. Or can we take the afternoon off and revisit this tomorrow? If they can check their emotional temperature and really find like a stride, a patience with themselves and the world around them, because they hold others to high standards, it's helpful. And most importantly, with the 8, it's about resiliency. It's about and I talked about that with the failure and the success and being able to get back up on its feet. The resiliency is also with itself and in its mood swings, being able to let itself kind of sink down low and know that it's going to recalibrate, but to honor that space or give itself grace. That's kind of hard for the hard driving 8. Next, we have the 9, the soul urge number of the 9. Of course, the 9 is the humanitarian. The 9 is here to better the world, to leave this place better than they found it. The 9s get along with people from all walks of life because they have like X-ray vision. They can innately see the best in other people. And that can be a challenge too, because they can see someone's soul or where their opportunities are or where they're really going, and they want people to be better, to do better. And of course, for themselves, they are here to grow and evolve. And if you have a 9 as a soul urge number, you came here to heal on a soul level, not just on a human level. There's an innate call within your soul and in your soul's urge in this lifetime to really heal and to be able to look back at your pain or your challenges, anything that has caused disturbance or disruption, and be able to say, okay, what did I learn from that? How can I forgive? How can I make amends? So being able to clear itself of resentments and also not be a victim, really recognize that they are maturing. It's a sign of maturity. It's a number and a vibration of maturity, completion, and remembering they have a very spiritual component to them. If you're a 9 soul urge, you came here to really summon your connection with a higher power or your energy field, and see the beauty in life, but also the beauty in humanity. Even when things are heavy and dark and messy, where can they light the way? So remembering that the 9 has a magnetism about it, but it carries a heavy burden because it is about a lifetime of stepping up into its path of integrity. And that really can be a challenge. So for the 9, it's being able to forgive itself and forgive others, to surrender to something greater, a higher power, and also to trust the process, be in the present moment, because the 9 is like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing it enough. And I should have gotten it all done yesterday. It's like this urgency of being able to just let go and say, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. What's on my plate today? What's showing up for me? So being very present is important for the 9. All right, let's talk about the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. As I mentioned, if your soul urge number is a master number, you want to reduce it down to the base frequency. So if your vowels in your name summed up to an 11, you want to pay attention to the components of the 2, because that's like your bun, like that's the bun on the hamburger or whatever. Like it's the base. You got to know that stuff. But if your soul urge number is 11, 11 is about the interconnection of the human and the spiritual. So it's developing intuition, it's learning from itself and others, it's surrounding, but it's always looking for the bigger picture, like the spiritual lesson, the higher road. Like, okay, I'm going through this struggle right now. I'm going through a divorce and it's painful and there's children involved and it's messy. I got this. This is hard, but what is the wise decision? And what am I learning from this that is growing and evolving me? And how am I going to be different and be more evolved and more mature through this? The 11 is also very psychic. I mean, it's intuitive because the 2's intuitive, but the 11 is like synchronicities out the wazoo. So always, finding the aha and the enlightenment in signs and synchronicities. 11s are also very good healers. They have beautiful healing qualities. So remembering to rely on their visionary, their higher aim, like what's the bigger picture? Zoom out, look at the bigger picture and not get so caught in the details. Also, remembering not to take things too personally, because they're like the 2's are sensitive, the 11s are like super sensitive and just get overburdened by energy. So it's important for them to clear their energy regularly. But when they embrace a spiritual path or a spiritual practice and their faith into their lives, they find deeper meaning and that flow that they're essentially looking for. If your soul urge number is 22, you came here to freaking build something in this lifetime. It's like the legacy number. The 22 is called the master builder. And the way to think of that is I am building dreams into reality in this lifetime. So, of course, there's a spiritual component to it. But if you add 2 plus 2, it equals 4. And you remember the attributes of the 4. It's about building solid foundations, a step-by-step process, practicality. That is the cornerstone of the 22. it's also a 2-2 code. And there's that element of, okay, partnership, balance, reciprocity. So getting others, enlisting other people's support is important, because if you're going to build a master work or a master project in this lifetime or of your life, you got to have other people. You can't do it on your own. And it's also the master builder, like the number 22, if that's your soul urge number, your whole lifetime is your work. I know that sounds exhausting. Don't roll your eyes. It's like, no, you came down here to really write your novel in this lifetime, whatever you are creating, and whether it is being an incredible mother and wife and grandmother, and, if it's on the home front, if it's professionally in business, however that shows up for you, it's knowing that you're leading a life that is telling a story, and you want to leave a legacy. Like, who are you and what are you leaving behind that is noteworthy? It's about turning your dreams into reality. And there's a practical visionary quality to the number 22, because it's got that long game visionary approach that is beyond other people's thinking or vision sometimes. But it's like, but how do I get there? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, one day at a time. That is the essence of what the Soul Urge 22 needs to remember, because it is a journey of a lifetime, and it's important. They're leaving their mark. Their soul came to really grow and leave their mark, however that may look, and knowing that it's significant. The Soul Urge 33, the master number 33. The 33 is the healer, the compassionate teacher. And it's a 3-3 combo, which means you get that beautiful 3 energy that is extroverted and charismatic and creative. But 3 plus 3 equals 6. So remember the attributes of the innate wisdom and healing, safety, security, nurture that comes with the 33. And self-care out the wazoo, super important. But the 33 is here to heal. It's here to teach. It's here to offer guidance. It is highly spiritually evolved, or at least thirsty for something more, something deeper. 33s are usually pretty old souls. I would say I don't always know that all the master numbers are. It just depends on people and their energy. But a lot of times when you catch a 33, whether it's in their life path, their soul urge, usually they've been around the block or two, meaning they come in with experience. They come in with pain and suffering, and they come in with beauty and learning to balance the two and find peace and harmony no matter what. But when they embrace their role as like a healer, a counselor, or a teacher, and they practice unconditional love. Like, this is what they are seeking, which is so important for us to have on this planet. They're the purveyors of love, whether that's through wise counsel, nurture, quality time with people, giving of their intimate attention. They are here to really up level us on the love scale, the 5th dimensional vibrational factor. And it can be heavy for them because they can be so sensitive and feeling the weight of the world that they can feel depressed. Like, they easily can get down and depressed, but they're so diligent that they're going to get back up. But being able to honor their feelings and practice that self-care, who's healing them, who's supporting them, who's mentoring or guiding them, so they don't feel like an island. The numbers are so fascinating. And as you play with these numbers, I hope you're able to do the calculations and find some great correlations. But what I want you to do, here's your homework, apart from researching this. So once you find your soul urge number, I want you to think about your attitude number and think about your life path number. And you might have a soul urge number that matches your life path. If that's the case, It's like doubling down on the energy. It's like, whoa, I really came in here to learn these lessons, these frequencies, and these energies. Or if it matches your attitude number, same thing. But also think about the attributes of your attitude number, your life path number, and your soul urge, and write those out. Like, write out, okay, here are the virtues, here are the high vibrations of each of these three numbers. And then write out your blind spots or your challenges and start looking for this stuff, how it's working together, how it's playing together. It'll freaking fascinate you, but you're going to have fun with it. And more than that, you're going to like crack your codes and you're going to see things that just blow your mind. So have fun with this, do the research, check out the blog. Thank you for joining me. Be well.